Apple has made over $45 billion off of a lie to you about the iPhone 16, convincing people to upgrade early, that their phone might be obsolete, that their old phone won't be able to use Apple Intelligence, and it was all built on the pretense of a lie. And now it's pretty much been confirmed. Of course, Apple made a statement yesterday saying that many of the developments that they have for the advanced Siri update, i.e. Siri 2.0, which we've been expecting to come out this spring, will be pushed back till later on this year, and even some features into 2026. That means that they announced the iPhone 16. They said, hey, here's Apple Intelligence. Of course, they advertised it out the wazoo and then said, here, iPhone 16 powered by Apple Intelligence. And then there was no Apple Intelligence for like 5 weeks. And then it was basically like, oh, here, you can you can get some rewriting help on an email, or you can get an email summary, right? I mean, Apple Intelligence to the date is basically useless. Mostly just gimmicks and silly stuff that you can use with other apps already, or have been available on Google Pixel phones or Samsung phones for well over a year and a half, 2 years. And yeah, it's BS. And I think it's complete rubbish. And you should be pissed off. I'm pissed off. Mostly for y'all guys, not for me. Like, I don't care. I don't even use any of the Apple Intelligence stuff. It's so useless mostly. But what gets me, and what really, really makes me mad about this stuff, is the fact that, here, go ahead and watch this. You can watch this advertisement. This is from September. This is from September, when they're advertising and showing off this cool, contextually aware Siri feature where you can ask it something about something you have on your phone and pull it up and give you real-time information that you can't do, and probably won't even be able to do until we get the iPhone 17. Watch the video.
Siri, what's the name of the guy I had a meeting with a couple of months ago at Cafe Grinnell?
You met Zach Wingate at Cafe Grinnell.
Hey!
Zach!
Oh, wow, I didn't think you'd remember me.
Yeah, of course. As soon as I saw you, I'm like, it's Zach. Nobody walks like Zach.
I am genius.
Anyway, I haven't got this mad in quite a while, but yeah, it's just ridiculous what Apple and other companies are bad about this too. Not to this extent. I mean, I railed against Pixel last year because, remember, we were supposed to get what was the feature? There was a feature we were supposed to get. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh yeah, the Zoom Enhance. We were supposed to get the Zoom Enhance feature on the Pixel 8. It was announced as one of the features on the Pixel 8. It didn't show up until the Pixel 9. We had to wait a year. I made several videos about that, so you can't say I'm only unfair about Apple. Then I've also made a video or two talking about Android 15. Where is it at? I made a video about that with the Pixel. I made a video about that with even Samsung. Even I've talked about it with Samsung not being here until April. So I try to be across the board with criticism on this stuff. But this one takes the cake because it was presented in a way where basically you had to look at the fine print on the bottom of the screen. It's not like there was a verbal disclaimer. It's like, oh, this feature will be available later, or oh, this will be coming later. They advertise the iPhone 16 like from the get-go. It's powered by Apple Intelligence. They swindle people. They tell you your old phone's not going to be able to do any of this stuff. They're like, oh, only the iPhone 15 Pro series will be able to do this. Not even the iPhone 15 that's a year old. And I made a video about it being a ripoff in the first place because Apple knowingly sandbagged their phones for years. And they had everybody, all the Apple sheep in line, we don't need 8 gigs of RAM. We don't need 8 gigs of RAM. We don't need that. We don't need that. So, lo and behold, finally Apple Intelligence comes out. Oh, wait, you got to have 8 gigabytes of RAM. You got to have it or you can't use Apple Intelligence. And here, make sure you get your new iPhone 16 powered by Apple Intelligence. And it's just not there. And then it wasn't there. And then they rolled it out a couple months later as a beta, which is pretty much still beta status. Then they rolled out iOS 18.2, gave us a few more little features. You can do your stupid memojis. And now we've got nothing. We're just sitting here waiting. The big thing everybody was waiting for was this contextually aware big update to Siri, because Siri is pants. Like, Siri is derp city. It is horrible. It is horrible and it's useless. It can do a few things, like set a timer or maybe call emergency services if you get it to work on the first couple of times while you're still conscious. So Apple has pulled the rug out from so many people, promising something that wasn't there, alluding to it being there. It's not there. And now they're telling us that some of these advanced features that we were supposed to wait 6 months for won't be available until the iPhone 17. Like, where's the recompense here? Like, where is where's the payback? Like, where do we get compensation? Where do customers get compensation for buying into this line of BS, and then the features just aren't there? And it's like, oh, well, I mean, you'll get them a year from now. You'll get them 2 years from now. Can you imagine buying somebody who is excited about this? And I get it. There are people who like Apple. There are people who like iPhone. There are people who really care about this Apple Intelligence stuff and want these features. And I could see somebody going into an Apple store, spending their hard-earned money, buying one of these phones, excited about these features, getting home, realizing there's no Apple Intelligence, and be like, okay, well, it'll be here soon. Apple will get it here soon. And then they roll out a couple features, which are mostly dumb, and then you're like, well, maybe we'll get it eventually. Like, it's going to be here soon. And then a couple months later, you get a few more useless features, and then that one big feature, Siri 2.0, finally making it relevant again, giving you all this cool stuff that was advertised in these videos and these commercials and on the keynote speech. Oh, it's not going to be available for like another year. Like, how is that even borderline acceptable? I mean, this is not the first time we've had this happen. I mean, iPhone did this with, what was it, Deep Fusion when it came to the photo enhancement processing stuff. That was something that came online later. I remember when the Apple Watch, was it the 5? I think it was the 5, the first one that had the atrial fibrillation detection, and it didn't come online until like April. So we're in this position now where so much of these upgrades is not so much hardware as it is software, because we've been getting this AI pitch for the longest time. Google's doing the AI pitch. Samsung's doing the AI pitch. OnePlus is even on board now. Apple, so far behind. Apple, I think, missed the cart completely this one, and they're trying to catch up, but they're just not able to do it. And that's the thing, that they're basically having to go back to the drawing board with some of this stuff because they can't get it right. And there's apparently been internal frustration from people at Apple. I think Timmy Cook and Frederic, whatever this world is. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I don't care that much. But they've been having concerns because when they're using the Apple Intelligence, it's not giving them the results they should be getting. So it seems like there's a major problem here that's been brewing for a long time that I think they thought they could just manpower and muscle it. But the problem is with these AI algorithms and all this cool AI stuff and the integration and building the platform and the basis to be able to use it, the servers, all that crazy stuff, it's not something that just shows up overnight. And luckily, Google has worked with a lot of other Android people. It's built in and baked into part of Android and is licensing it out. I mean, so it's one of those things where Android is so significantly farther ahead in the AI race. And with being a year ahead, it's like being 2 or 3 years ahead if you're not even there yet. So I feel bad for a lot of iPhone customers right now because this is just dirt. This is a terrible way to do business. Basically, it's making a promise about something in exchange for somebody buying it, saying, here, come buy our product. It's going to do this. But in addition to that, your old product won't do this. So you need to get this new product. Otherwise, you can't do the latest, coolest thing with the iPhone. And then you can't even do it. And now you won't even be able to do it till like the iPhone 17. This is the biggest blunder in the history of the iPhone. This is worse than Bendgate. This is worse than the Air Power stuff that didn't work and didn't come out that was blowing up. This is worse than when they got caught messing with the batteries on phones and got, hemmed up by that one. I mean, there's been some shady stuff that Apple has done in the past. And this one takes the cake. And you know what? They don't care. Why? Because they've made over $45 billion off of this lie. Quite frankly. I was reading an article because I was doing some research before I made this video. I want to see how much money they've screwed people out of. And just for the baseline numbers, here's how I came up with my calculations. I read an article that said that the pre-orders were like 46 million. 46 million pre-orders for the iPhone 16, and it was actually lower than the iPhone 15. So 46 million, baseline price, the cheapest iPhone you could buy with the iPhone 16 lineup was $799. And the higher model being $899, $999, and then $1199. So I just said $900. $900, and I multiplied it by 50 million because if they pre-ordered 46 million like 5 months ago, then surely they have to have sold at least 4 million phones by then. So they probably made even more money than this. They probably, on average, I think they sell about 90 million phones a year, 80, 90 million phones a year. So we're already halfway through the life, like the 1 year mark of this phone, basically. And if you take $900, which the average is probably closer to $1,000, so they probably made about $60 billion off of people, off of this lie. And who holds them accountable? Like, who's going to hold Apple accountable for this? And what do we as a customer get for it? Anything? Anything at all? I don't know. You'll have to. I mean, maybe somebody has a better answer than me. I don't want to. I don't want to posit any legal theories about liability or culpability here because I don't want Apple to sue me. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't feel right. Like, it feels really wrong, and it feels like the customer base, the fan base, has been seriously misled about what these phones were supposed to be capable of doing, and then Apple was unable to deliver, even with an expanded timeline, which most customers were accepting of, even after they lied to people in the first place. So that's all I got. Just want to let you guys know it was my piece. I've just been sitting here thinking about it all day, and I was going to wait till tomorrow to record this, but anyway, I'm recording it now. Maybe some internal angst built up because I'm about to go watch the UFC fight, which should be a good card, by the way. Alex Pereira, he's fighting. Justin Gaethje's fighting. My kids, they like to watch it, so we watch it when they have these fights. But anyway, fighting with Apple on the internet right now. But that's it. In addition to this bogus phone that definitely is not worth $600, and my daughter didn't want it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the end of that experiment. So that's all I got. As always, if you enjoyed the video, if you're as pissed off as I am, of course, go to the comment section. We can discuss this. Hit the like and subscribe button if you care about that stuff, and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.